was always into space, and they wouldn't teach me science. They wouldn't teach me science in school. So and it was more of a principle of learning the stuff I wanted to learn in school. Like the teachers gave up on me a long time ago, so I wasn't really a good student, you know. So my first project they ever did, I was in, I think it was fourth or fifth class, and it was about the solar system. And I put a lot of time and effort into it. And I remember the teacher mocking me over it, you know, and then that kind of hurt. So I never really did well in school, you know. So I left school at a young age, and I started working. And then from then, I was always watched how the universe works. I was always fascinated about space. It was just bred into. I don't know what it is, you know. I knew there was something bigger and better out there, I suppose, than what we're taught. And I bought my first telescope about 2 years ago. It was a Celestron LST 130, and I just remember looking at stars, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I started joining astrophotography pages and looking on YouTube, learn the night sky and astro backyard and anything got to do with space. And I started seeing their photos. So I was wondering how they were getting these photos. So I just kept reading up about it and reading up and watching YouTube videos. So my first astrophotography telescope was a William Optics Z73, and I had a Canon camera, a Canon 750D, but there was a problem with the camera. So I was lucky enough to get my money back, and I went to a dark sky in Kerry where I met this fella who was at this hobby a lot longer. His name was Stephen Hanley, and he helped me out tremendously from the start, you know, and he told me what other camera to get. So then I got into a Canon Mark III Canon, and it was a brilliant camera. Like he actually went into the shop with me to get it. That's how much he helped me, you know. And they were telling me about me the histogram, and they taught me a lot at the start, you know, at YouTube, because sometimes I'm dyslexic, so my spelling wouldn't be the best. So if I had a problem and I put it up on an astro page, people wouldn't understand me. So I hounded Stephen out of it. I had him tormented, you know, but he helped me tremendously. Like he's a good man, you know. I don't tell him that neither. It's an Irish thing not to tell somebody what you think of them, you know. And so he helped me out tremendously. And then I just kept looking on YouTube every night, and I got that and got into Pinkston site then. And Pinkston site, there's a big learning curve into that, you know. So I threw a lot of time learning how to use Pinkston site as well, because that's how I edited my photos. And then this year, I got a black cat, a William Optics black cat. It's a 1 of 10. It was the last black cat of 10, because I bought a good bit of stuff of William Yang, which is the CEO of William Optics. He gave me the last black cat of this color. So I have that as well. And then I got into the astrophotography cameras, and that's when the photos start. You start getting much better, you know, because I'm not really computer skilled. So I bought the ASR Pro, which is basically, it's simplifying your auto guiding, your polar alignment, your plate solving, and your photo editing and capturing. So because I could auto guide and I could plate solve, then I knew I could get a bigger telescope with bigger focal lengths. So now I'm imaging, well, it was my first imaging last night with a Celestron HD Edge 800. So that's really looking deep into space. I have the Celestron F7 reducer, which brings it down to the focal length of over 1400. But those faint details, you get it with this telescope. My other telescopes are brilliant, but it opens up the sky a lot more. But if you really want to look deep into space, you need to go bigger focal lengths. And because the native focal length of the Celestron HD Edge, which is f10, it's very slow. So I bought the focal reducer because I bought this telescope for astrophotography. And when you're doing astrophotography, your number two things is the f-stop. It's how much photons you're gathering in. And f2, it'd be super fast. I have a camera lens that is 1.4, so that's gathering in the photons super quick. But then you could have your stars could be a bit trailing. So if I was to shoot Milky Way shots, I'll always shoot at f4 because your stars are always going to be that much more sharper. And with telescopes, they're designed for that. So my William Optics C73 is f5.9. My William Optics Black Hat is f4.9. So anything over f4, I think, for stars are just perfect. With the Celestron HD, they're f7, so the stars can be fairly bloated. So you have to kind of learn how to kind of trickle them down in photo editing software, which I use, which is PixInsight. And it's a bottomless pit. You need a big bank account with this hobby, but you can start off with a sky tracker and a camera lens and a camera to get milky and go to a dark sky. You can start off with that, but I threw myself into the deep end as I do normally in life, and I just went for the telescope straight away.
Got it.
And I'm only at it a year and a half. It's a learning curve. You learn something every day in this hobby, and that's what I love about it. Every day I do about an hour or 2 hours research every day for the last year and a half.
Wow.
To get where I'm at now. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm doing a lot better than I give myself credit for. But I know I can do so much more with more time under my belt and more research. If you're bored and you don't know what to do in life, get into astrophotography. It's never ending. There's just that many photos you can take. There's that much learning in it. It's just phenomenal. To think of space and what's out there, it's the stuff that keeps me awake at night. You know, it's hard to explain what the feeling is when you're out there imaging and you're capturing stuff. You know, I used to drink. I don't drink anymore, and I used to get the feeling of going to the pub every time I have a clear night now, and that's what it does for me. You know, I don't drink anymore, and me new way of drink is astrophotography. You know, where I'm just hoping for a break in the clouds. I live in a cloudy country, Ireland, so. But lately now, the last 8 or 9 weekends have been pretty good to me, where I was being able to get a good few hours on objects, you know. Long may it last.